Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Marvel United unboxing. This is for the campaign decks. This is a fun addition to the Multiverse Kickstarter campaign. This is a Kickstarter exclusive set. So what are campaign decks? That is the ultimate question. If we flip this over, it'll kind of tell us a little bit. Brings a whole new way to play the Marvel United. Each of these 8 campaign decks uses a full breadth of existing Marvel United components to recreate iconic story arcs from the comics. Players must battle through a series of 4 to 5 games on average, facing events based on those comic book storylines and living with the consequences of their action. So this just to follow 8 different Marvel storylines using the various box sets, Kickstarter promotion characters, and lots of mixing and matching and stuff together to kind of recreate the storylines as best as possible. Now, it's not going to be 100% one-for-one because not every single character that is in every one of these storylines existed. And they didn't adapt every single storyline they ever could have done. They just picked out a couple of big ones. So yeah, there's some pretty interesting ones in there. So what it is they'll have several different games you have to play. Some of them might be just regular game modes. You just play this. Some of them might make you play team versus team. Some might make you play a special challenge mode. Each different one's going to kind of change back and forth. The idea is if you're getting prepped to play these, plan on playing every single one. There's even some that might have you play Commander solo. Just keep that in mind as well. But then what you do is then they have these event cards in there as well. So like you might be playing game 1, and if you win the event, you might draw like event number 1, which will be like, hey, you won. This thing happens. You gain this extra card. You gain this bonus or benefit in the next match. You lose, it might be like, oh no, you lost. This bad thing happens. You're gonna make game 2 harder or more difficult or something like that. There might even be things during the game that might be like, if during the game you defeat like this particular person's henchmen, draw event number 6. And then you draw that and something might happen. But then if you don't ever defeat that character, thing never might trigger. So some really interesting different back and forths in there. So there's like a list of required box sets before we get into the actual rules. So there's a list of the box from which components for each of the campaigns. Players should feel free to substitute components in cases are missing, though they may affect the campaign either mechanically or thematically to a greater or lesser extent. So more or less what this is saying, so if you're going to play the Age of Apocalypse campaign, it is saying you should have Guardians of the Galaxy Remix, Tales of Asgard, the United promos from the first series, X-Men Marvel, or X-Men United the Marvel United X-Men, Gold Team, Blue Team, Deadpool, X-Force, Fantastic Four, First Class, the Mutant promos, which is the Series 2 promos, Age of Apocalypse, War of King, and the Multiverse promos. Now, am I going to need every single component from every single one of these sets? Absolutely not. Like lots of the X-Men stuff, obviously, the Age of Apocalypse. The Age of Apocalypse stuff, of course. But what might I need from some of the other ones? For example, Guardians of the Galaxy Remix, I'm not saying this for sure, it might just have you using the Plan B challenge cards. That might be all it needs from it. Tales of Asgard, it might have you using the Trader missions, the Trader mode off of that. It might not have you using any of the characters. So some of these things you could maybe recreate just by drawing up your own quick card or something. Or some of these you might be able to replace a character here or there, depending on what it is. And that's going to be the same idea with all these. You have like Age of Ultron. I'm not going to read through all of these. These ones require a little bit less, but they're a little bit smaller campaigns. But again, it can be as simple as being, you might need specific characters for it, whether it's the villain you need, might be the heroes that are saying they're required to use for the mission. So example, Avengers versus X-Men, and it says Civil War, because there are times when you're going to need to play the team versus team mode that Civil War has in it. Might not even, I mean, you're probably going to use some of the characters from there, but you might not. Yeah, so interesting there. So, and I think Dark Phoenix has Marvel United Multiverse or Spider-Geddon. This is probably for, might be for the supervillain mode, because you need the cards to play the supervillain mode. which wasn't available in the original base game. So there's some stuff like that as well. Yeah, so we got that. We have, and we're going to see what all of them are. War of the Kings, World War Hulk, and Executioner Song. So yeah, we'll go through each of these. I'm going to say before I hop into anything farther even, and I'll remind you again before we get into, there are obviously spoilers for what these cards are. I can show the rule cards in here, but even starting to show all the rule and game cards are going to basically be spoiling the story. I'm not worried about spoiling the plot of the story for someone that's, oh, I haven't read Age of Apocalypse, I haven't read Age of Ultron yet, or whatever, or Maximum Cards. That's fine. I'm not, that's obviously might just spoil a little bit here or there, because we're talking about that. Just some people might not want to know what the event cards do, because they might be like, I want to sit down, I'm going to play game 1, and I kind of want to be surprised at what event number 5 does when it comes up. So there will be a spoiler for that. So that's why I wanted to go through what was in each one first. Alright, so how do campaign decks actually work? Using a campaign deck, players embark on a series of sequential games bound by special restrictions and following special rules, where different actions outcome trigger events that further change how games are played. It's all geared towards recreating classic Marvel storylines in the Marvel United. Use a campaign deck and the following standard rules with following modifications. Choose one of the 8 available campaigns. Each has 2 types of cards: setup and rule cards. They explain the game, the mode, the villains, heroes, roster, special rules, and trigger events for each game campaign. And then we have event cards. They are revealed during the game if certain conditions are met, adding twists and special rules for the current game or following games in the campaign. Keep the 2 types separate without shuffling them. Keep the event face down without looking at their front side. Keep the setup and rule cards in the deck set aside with game 1 card on the top, the others underneath it in ascending order. Follow the game card 1 setup, flip it, and keep it rules side up. Within reach of all players. Unless stated otherwise, the games are played in standard cooperative modes. Again, there are a couple changes to that, versus or trader mode or stuff like that. If one or more specific locations are required during setup, place them first and randomly pick the other locations until there are 6 in play. Each time a condition is written on a card is triggered, follow the corresponding instructions. If an event must be revealed immediately, search for it, flip it face up, and apply any effect as written. Alright, so then we have hero selection. Hero selection during campaign is limited by the list of heroes that play a part in that specific story. This is called a campaign roster. It is meant for the duration of the campaign. Sometimes setup, events, or special rules will instruct player to modify that roster by adding or removing heroes from it. This means the campaign roster is permanently modified by these changes for the whole duration of the current campaign, usually because the heroes have joined the battle or have been taken out. Other games and campaigns might make use of a game roster. This is a temporary list, usually noted in the setup of the card. When a game roster is indicated for that specific game, players may only choose the heroes from that game roster. So this might be, for example, if you get to like Mission 3 or Game 3 and it's like, oh, it specifically wants this character to be doing a solo game, and you can only use that character. Sequential games. When proceeding to the following game, follow the setup corresponding game cards, then flip it to keep its rows side up. Discard all campaign cards in front of the previous game unless otherwise stated. Heroes may choose to keep the same locations and heroes from the previous game unless the next card indicates otherwise. Any hero has been removed from the roster. Whether changing location or not, all locations begin each game with starting placement as printed on the location. Any leftover tokens between games are discarded. And then player count. Campaigns are best suited for 4 players, but can be played with 2 or 3 players following these rules. Games using supervillain mode require at least 3 players. As an alternative, they can be played by 2 players with 1 playing as a villain, the other controlling 2 characters multi-handed. Games that require a team versus team or player versus player mode require at least 4 players. As an alternative, they can be like 2 or 3 players, with some of them controlling a multi-hero. Alright. So, before we're going to do slight spoilers, just kind of showing what it was showing in the Kickstarter campaign. So, Age of Apocalypse, for example, is we have Game 1 set up. So we have Age of Apocalypse here. Has 16 events. This is the biggest event card. But I'm not going to show off all of them just yet. I just want to kind of show so you get the idea of what they do. So this is going to say our first game we're going to play Surprise Attack. Nemesis, our villain is Nemesis from the Age of Apocalypse set. Our campaign roster is Scarlet Witch, Jean Grey, Storm, Wolverine, Rogue, Colossus, Iceman, Magneto, Age of Apocalypse version, and Morph. Special setup, the villain starting location is Cape Citadel, and hero starting location is Moat Wundagore. So, these come from all different sets, obviously. Morph and AOA Magneto are from the, and Nemesis are all from the Age of Apocalypse set. Jean Grey, Storm, Wolverine, Colossus, Rogue, Iceman are divided in between the X-Men Blue and Gold sets. Scarlet Witch is from the Marvel United promo pack, I believe. And I think Cape Citadel might be part of the, I want to say it's part of the X Factor or Age of, or the Apocalypse set, the original Horseman set. I don't remember. And then Moat Wundagore was part of the Age of Apocalypse set. So yeah, they're kind of divided all over the place. Now, someone might be like, well, which Wolverine? Now, if I'm using Wolverine, can I use Logan? Can I use Weapon X? Or if I'm playing as Storm, can I use Mohawk Storm? You could argue Mohawk Storm because that's just a slight variation on him. I would say probably no to the Wolverine. You could argue back and forth if you could use regular Wolverine or maybe Logan, or Days of Future Past Wolverine, because they're kind of all still Wolverine. Weapon X, I would say no, because it doesn't really fit in, even though he's called Weapon X through that story. But again, you can make little changes like that. But then like for Jean Grey or Iceman, could you use the Marble Girl or First Class Iceman? Again, you could probably argue you could based on the storyline, earlier versions of them. I might argue with that. But now swapping out anybody else wouldn't really make sense. Could I use Nightcrawler? Could I use, Spider-Man? They weren't, well, for any other X-Men characters weren't part of the storyline. Any other characters weren't, all Marvel characters, Captain America, Iron Man, weren't in the Age of Apocalypse. So it wouldn't make sense. The idea of playing these is to make the thematic game with the storyline using these characters. Now, if you get down to the point you don't have all these characters and you need to substitute characters in, no one's going to stop you. It's your game. Do what you want. Ultimately, that's how that goes. So, could you swap these in? Yes, but it might change some more. For example, if you don't have Nemesis, you didn't buy the Age of Apocalypse box set, and you have to use different locations, could you still play this? Yeah, you can still play this story. It's just lots of stuff are going to change and be different. You might have to make a lot more game modifications. So, as the example on the other side here, too, is we also have Surprise Attack. Heroes defeat the Sabertooth Henchman. So if you're not playing as Nemesis, you're not going to have a Sabertooth Henchman available anywhere. So you can always pick a different character. So let's say instead you're like, okay, fine, we'll say we're fighting, Apocalypse instead, and you have to defeat the Death Henchman. You could maybe say that, and then play it the same way. You could make little minor changes like that if you had to. But again, not every character is going to have a henchman or a different henchman. But if you did, then you'd reveal event 1. You might not defeat him, so event 1 might never get revealed. Can't play a card loss, so you lose for not being able to play cards, you do event 2. If you lose to the villainous plot, you reveal event 3. Now this also might be a thing, because not every villain has a villainous plot. So then, it might make event 3 not work for some games. If the heroes win, if no hero is KO'd during the game, reveal event 15 and add a crisis token to it. Then proceed to game 2. So it's a very interesting things. There are different things. If you win different ways, if you defeat certain things, different things happen. And then just to reveal one of these, I don't want to go through all of them again right this second. We just want to do some spoilers. But if we drew event 1 because we defeated Sabertooth, we have I Saw the Light. If the heroes win the game and Sabertooth and Wildchild, add Sabertooth and Wildchild to the campaign roster. This is again to show that during the storyline, after the initial X-Men Chronicles comic book, where Nemesis attacked the X-Men early on, they beat Sabertooth, and later on in the story, he becomes an X-Men. So that's kind of just showing this off. So that's some really cool stuff in there. So that is what we have for this. So I'm going to drop these back down. And we are going to start looking. I'm going to do that one a little bit later. We're going to jump into some of these other ones. So from now on, spoilers alert. So if you do not want to be spoiled on what are the back of any of these event cards or what's in the story or what's coming up, we'll go ahead and I'll do a quick show off. We have Age of Ultron. We have Avengers vs. X-Men with 12 events. Dark Phoenix Saga with 11. The Executioner Song with 9. Maximum Carnage, which has 5. War of the Kings, which has 12. And finally, World War Hulk with 9. So, that's what we have for this. So, hopefully you guys kind of got an idea what this is. You're going to stick around. Can't wait to join you. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at Age of Ultron. So, we have Game 1. And I'm just going to kind of run through these a little bit quick. We have End of the World, has Villains Ultron, campaign roster, Iron Man, Hawkeye, Luke Cage, She-Hulk, Wolverine, Invisible Woman, and Emma Frost. Of course, if you're not familiar with Age of Ultron, it's basically an alternate future where Ultron took over the Earth, defeated most of the Avengers, and then they do some shenanigans. So we have the setup here during the actual, or wing conditions. One of the following effects would add Ultron's BAM effect to the whole. Choose one of the following effects to add to Ultron's BAM effect for the whole game. Deal 2 damage to one hero in his location. Deal 1 damage to a hero in an adjacent location. Add 1 thug to the next clockwise. Add 1 thug to the counterclockwise. Or add 1 thug to the opposite. So that's kind of cool. It changes how his card works. If you lose, reveal event number 1. If you win before Ultron plays its 7th master plan, reveal event 2, or if you just win in general, proceed to game 2. So you win quickly, you get an event. If you don't win quickly, you just go to game 2. We'll look at all the game cards first. So here we have Faking a Trade. A campaign roster, add Black Widow, Black Panther, Moon Knight, and Red Hulk. So we just add 4 more characters to the game. The heroes in your game 1 cannot be used in this game, though the rest of the campaign roster is available. So that's kind of a cool thing as well. We added 4 new characters, so you can add them in there, but if any of the other characters can't currently be used, it's basically saying these guys are off doing this thing, these guys are doing something somewhere else. And we had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters, so you still have 8 characters to choose from. And then that one says, choose 2 of the following effects to add to Ultron's BAM effect for the whole game. Deal 2 damage to one hero in his location. It's the same as the other ones. Lost, reveal event 3, wins. So yeah, he's just getting stronger. We have game 3. We didn't have a plan until now. Still fighting Ultron. Game roster, Captain America, Iron Man, Nick Fury, Quicksilver, Storm, Quake, and Red Hulk. So a different game roster than the rest of them. All the following effects are added to BAM for the whole game. Oh, Jesus. These are getting very difficult. Lost, proceed to game 4. Win if you have brought an end to Age of Apocalypse. Congratulations. So this is kind of interesting. So if you win, game done. If you lose, though, you have to play another game. And I like that as a cool idea. Only the maker can unmake it. Villainous Enchantress. Interesting. Iron Man, Captain America, Wolverine, and Invisible Woman. So you only get a roster of 4 characters. Special sub. Wolverine and Invisible Woman are mandatory heroes for this game. 2 of the Ultron clone henchmen are mandatory when choosing the 9 henchmen during the setup. Because Enchantress chooses other players' henchmen, so you have to choose the Ultron clones. Lost, event reveal, event 4. Win. If you're able to communicate him to recreate the virus or would stop Ultron, congratulations. This is really time travel to the future, or back to the past, and they were regularly going to kill Hank Pym, but they changed their mind. So that's kind of cool. Alright, then we have our events. Just stuff happening if different things happened. So we had fail again, fail better. Play game 1 again with each hero starting with 1 wild token. So if you lose, you gotta play again. Event 2, Add Spider-Man to the campaign roster. So cool, we get an extra character to play as because we rescue him per the story. Setting Spider-Man free. Fail again, fail better again. Play game 2 again, distributing 4 hero tokens amongst hero during setup. And then the last one, this is if you lost event 4, we need to think of something better. Play game 4 again, adding Ant-Man to the roster. If you lose this campaign again, the campaign is over. So it's kind of neat. And even if you lose, you still get to keep playing. You don't have to keep replaying. Like this one, it kind of wants you to replay them again with a little bit of advantage. But you get a little bit bonus each time, something different. Not all of them are going to be like that, though. Some might be like, if you lose, game over. You lose game 1, done. Start over. So kind of interesting. Cool. Alright. Up next, we have Avengers versus X-Men. So we are going to start with the prologue. Oops, I looked at the wrong side here. We have setup here. Use PvP mode, Clash of Heroes from the Civil War. Team Avengers is Captain America, Iron Man, Iron Fist, and Wolverine. Team X-Men is Cyclops, Magneto, Storm, and Emma Frost. So you gotta play this as a PvP mode. Kind of cool there. This is kind of a neat way too. So if the Avengers win, you do event 1. X-Men win, do event 2. So I'm actually going to jump into the events to look at those quick. So if we do event 1, so if the Avengers win, give the Dark Phoenix villain dashboard to one of the X-Men team players, then proceed to game 2. So take the beach, or we have drive them back into the sea. If the X-Men win, give the Dark Phoenix villain dashboard to one of the team in the Avengers team. So it depends on who is fighting the Dark Phoenix in the next round. So game number 2. No more heroes. Use super villain mode. Villain, Namor of the Phoenix 5 plays a single player game. Play a single game without using the standalone game setup. Campaign roster: Captain America, Thor, Scarlet Witch, and Beast. Then the player at the Dark Phoenix dashboard then plays the villain. Don't use the Dark Phoenix dashboard. Villain starts the game with 6 health. Place 1 crisis token in the villain's starting location. Alright, the villain starts the game with 6 health. Place 1 crisis token on the villain's starting location in both locations adjacent to it. Replace the Defeat Thug mission with the Creating Hope mission card. The heroes start the game with no action tokens. So this is kind of cool. So whichever team lost now plays as Namor as a Phoenix 5. But you're just playing a single game as him. You're not playing as each of the different Phoenix Force characters. But someone has a Dark Phoenix dashboard just sitting around waiting to be used. Oh, there's a couple extra setups in there as well. Cool. And then we have our opposite side of that card, which we have some more events. The villain wins. So if Namor wins, we go to event 3. If the hero wins, which could be the X-Men or Avengers team, whoever was playing that, who's playing as Avengers on this side. So if the villains win, you brought this upon yourself. Proceed to game 3. Heroes start game 3 with 1 additional wild token. Keep this card revealed until game 5. If the heroes win, proceed to game 3. Villain starts game with 2 additional health. So, interesting. Did we win? Then we have game 3, Siberia. Now we're playing against Colossus and Magic. Campaign roster: add Spider-Man, She-Hulk, Storm, and Wolverine to the campaign roster. The player at the Dark Phoenix dashboard plays the villain. Don't use the Dark Phoenix dashboard. Use Colossus, Phoenix 5, and 1 Magic Phoenix 5 threat card from each type of this game. The villain starts this game with 4 health. Defeat the Thug mission with the Training Hope mission. Ignore any other special setups on the dashboard. Heroes start with 2 additional tokens. And then again, so depending on who won, the villain might have additional 2 health, which make them a little bit harder to fight. Or The heroes might start with an additional token as well. So they kind of gain a little bit of advantage there. And then if we go to the other side, reveal event 12. So magic can only be damaged after Colossus has been defeated. Once Colossus is defeated, remove his master plan cards from the game. From then on, magic gets the effects of his BAM in addition to hers. So it's going to say reveal event 12. So we're going to jump right to event 12. This is the last event, which says, keep this card revealed throughout the build. Double villain special rule. During setup, the player draws one card from each master plan deck into their hand. On the villain's turn, the villain player draws one card from each master plan deck. Then they can choose which villain to play at that turn, playing a corresponding master plan card at the start and immediately removing from the game one master plan belonging to the other villain if possible. To win, heroes must defeat both villains. So it's kind of neat. So you're playing as both villains at the same time. You choose one. So it's just like this game would be Colossus and Magic. And if I play a Colossus card, I have to remove a Magic card from the game. I play a Magic, remove Colossus. So you're not gaining any extra cards. You're just having multiple choices, which is very cool. Neat. Alright, then we have Game 4 as we're going to Utopia. Use Supervillain mode. Emma Frost and Phoenix 5 and Cyclops Phoenix 5. Campaign roster at Hulk, Magneto, and Professor X. Special set. Professor X is mandatory hero for this game. Put the Dark Phoenix dashboard plays the villain. Use 3 random Emma Frost Phoenix 5 and 3 random Phoenix Force threats for this game. Each villain starts the game with 4 health. Replace the Defeat Thugs mission with the Train Hole mission card. Heroes start the game with 2 tokens. So do these ones back here stay out? Yeah, so it says keep this card revealed until set aside until game 5. So I think so every time you start a game, depending on which way you went, they would get the extra bonus. So interesting. And then we have the backside reveal event 12. In case you hadn't, in case you jumped right to it, both villains add the BAM effects of Namor, Magic, and Colossus from their respective BAMs. So now they defeated all 3 of them. They get to add those extra effects on there. Once the villain is defeated, remove their master plan card from the game. Then from then, their main villain gets the effect of the defeated villain BAMs. This works the way the Phoenix 5 does. Every time you defeated one, they slide underneath the other one, giving the bonus to the other one. They're absorbing their power. If Professor X is KO'd, proceed to event 9. If the villains win, go to event 7. And if the heroes win, reveal event 8. We missed something here at one of these. Oh, we did not do event 5 and 6 for the last one. Let me jump back and look at that. So, after we defeat Colossus and Magic, if the villain wins, we go event 5, which says proceed to game 4. Heroes start the game with an additional 1 token. So if you lose, you actually, the villains get an extra thing. And then event 6 was heroes start with 1 fewer token. They take to the grave of the darkness. So if villains win, the heroes get an additional token. They're rallying a little bit harder. But if the villains win, they actually start lower. Okay, so we missed that. So we have, first of all, if Professor X is KO'd, event number 9. Why did you make me do this? Remove Professor X from the game and the campaign roster. The player must resume playing their next turn with a new hero chosen from the campaign roster. They can start from the location of their choice. So this is Cyclops killing Professor X. And then if the villains win, we do event 7. Burn this road down, start from scratch. Proceed to game 5. And then we have, if the heroes win, there can only be 1. Proceed to game 5. So both are going to have us do this. Now I'm going to guess there's going to be various conditions depending on which cards were revealed. So we have the final showdown, game 5. Supervillain mode, Dark Phoenix. Add Hope Summers to the campaign roster. Scarlet Witch and Hope Summers are mandatory heroes for this game. Player with the Dark Phoenix dashboard plays the villain. For each of the following cards revealed, the hero starts the game with one additional heroic. So 4, 6, and 8. For each of the following cards revealed, deal 1 damage to the heroes at the start of the game. 3, 5, 7, and 9. So basically, I'm guessing that's if you won. So if we jump back to the first one, so event. Yeah, so yeah, if the heroes win, you gain an additional heroic for each one they won. If they lost 4 of them, you take a bunch of extra damage. So that's kind of a neat idea too. Like, you play the game, you're gonna cumulatively take stuff. So you could win one, you could lose one. Like, you lost the battle, but you haven't lost the war type of thing. And then final showdown. The first time Scarlet Witch ends your turn Dark Phoenix's location, reveal event 10. The first time Hope Summers ends your turn Dark Phoenix's location, reveal event 11. Villains win. The Phoenix Force is triumphant. Congratulations. Heroes win. You have stopped the Phoenix Force. Congratulations. So what happens when Scarlet Witch? Nothing else burns her day. From now on, Scarlet Witch enters her turn Dark Phoenix's location. She can discard 1 card from her hand to delay the next villain turn by 1. If Hope lands in there, except for you. From now on, if Hope Summers enters her turn Dark Phoenix's location, she can discard 1 card from her hand to delay the villain by 1 turn. It's just kind of neat. You could play both and they could keep delaying stuff. So that's a really neat, different idea or gameplay. Alright, we're going to jump into a different one. I don't want to just keep doing all the X-Men stuff right in a row, so let's look at Maximum Carnage. This, of course, Cletus Cassidy becomes Carnage, grabs his dark family, and they go around creating chaos everywhere. So we have Escape from Ravencroft Insane Asylum. We have Shriek. Campaign roster, Spider-Man, Cloak, Dagger, Black Cat, Venom, and Morbius. Special stuff, the villain starting location, the raft. So fairly simple. If Dagger is in play and she is KO'd, reveal event 1. Player can't play a card loss. The campaign is over, so if you lose that way, you're done. If the villain is plot, you go to event 2. Heroes win. If no heroes are killed during the game, reveal event 3, then proceed to game 2. So there's only 5 events in here, so we're going to go through these quick. So if Dagger gets KO'd, Fallen Guardian Angel. The game is immediately over and game 1 should be played again. But to remove Dagger from the campaign roster, if Cloak is in play in the next game, he starts with 2 attack tokens. So that's kind of cool. You gotta replay it, but you lose a character. And then we had, if the villainous plot activates, we have civilian casualties. Proceed to game 2. Keep this card revealed and set aside for the rest of the game. New permanent rule. In each game of this campaign, all heroes must forfeit 1 action during their first turn. Oh boy. And then it was for if you won, no heroes were KO'd. Then we also get event 3. Protecting the city. Keep this card revealed for the rest of the campaign. New permanent rule. During setup each game this campaign, heroes can choose to have 1 less card in their starting hand to gain a move, heroic, or attack token of their choice. So that's pretty cool. We have game number 2. Demons on Broadway. Use the Carnage Challenge with Shriek. Campaign roster add Iron Fist, Deathlock, and Firestar. Special setup. Remove the Carnage Henchman from the game. It can't enter the game by any effect. Villain starting location, Statue of Liberty. No threat is placed there. Heroes starting location is Central Park. So you get some more heroes. That's fun. The first time a hero is KO'd, reveal event 4. If a card loss, campaign is over. So you don't want to get card loss on this. Villainous plot is reveal event 5, and win proceed to game 3. So if a hero is KO'd, we have a case for cruelty. The KO hero is removed from the current game. The player must discard all their action tokens and resume playing on their turn. The new hero from the campaign. They can start a location of choice. If Dark Carnage is not defeated by the next villain turn, the KO hero is removed from the campaign roster. Ooh, interesting. So, they just basically knocked them out, but if you don't defeat Carnage, then he completely gets rid of them. Interesting. And then the other one was, if you lost by villainous plot, you do event 5, which would be Wanton Destruction. Proceed to game 3. Keep this card revealed for the rest of the campaign. New permanent rule. Each time a hero is KO'd, that hero is removed from the current game. That player must discard all their action tokens. You can play with the new hero from the campaign roster. If there are no heroes left, the campaign is over. So cool. So that's kind of neat. So he's gonna keep trying to KO everybody. Then we have game 3, which is the final battle. Use the Carnage Challenge and the new Sinister 6. Campaign roster. Remove Spider-Man and Morbius. Add Captain America and Cyborg Spider-Man to the campaign roster. If Dagger is not in the campaign roster, return her to the campaign roster. Special setup. Heroes start the game with a combination of any of the 4 move, heroic, or attack tokens split among them as they wish. So they rally up for the end. And they say lost. Remove the defeated heroes from the roster. If there are still 4 heroes left in the campaign, play game 3 again, adding 2 additional tokens, any combination, otherwise the campaign is over. Heroes win if you have stopped the maximum carnage. Awesome. So that's pretty cool. A little bit different way. You have to worry about losing heroes and playing as more if they get KO'd. So it does play a little bit differently. Alright, we're going to hop back and do an X-Men theme one with the Executioner song. This was when Strife and Strife and Apocalypse trying to just win. Basically, it's what they do. Overture. Villains. The 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse. Game roster. Cyclops, Jean Grey, Professor X, Storm, Gambit, Archangel, Colossus, and Iceman. Special set. Professor X is mandatory hero for this game. When a hero is KO'd on their next turn, they can be replaced with another available hero from the game roster. Resuming play from the same location. The replaced hero returns to the game roster. Now, this is interesting. If Famine succeeds, you reveal event 1. If War succeeds, it's event 2. Pestilence is event 3. Death succeeds, or at the end of the game, reveal event 4. So depending on which one of the Horsemen completes their goal, is how you get to do stuff. So for Famine, we have Famine Triumph. All heroes must discard 1 random card from their hand to the bottom of their decks. If War is Triumph, all heroes must take 1 unpreventable damage. If Pestilence is Triumph in Game 2, resolve the first villain BAM effect twice. Keep this card revealed until the first villain BAM of Game 2. And if Death wins or the game ends, proceed to Game 2. Heroes start Game 2 with 1 token to distribute amongst them for each horseman that did not succeed. If Death succeeded in Game 2, after the first villain, accelerate the next villain turn by 1 card, and keep this until the end of the villain turn. So interesting, depending on, so if you can defeat each one, you get basically better things. If they win, bad stuff happens. Game 2, a means to an end. Play Mr. Sinister. Game roster. Quicksilver, Bishop, Multiple Man, Polaris, Strong Guy, Wolfbane, X-Factors. This is cool as well, because so far lots of times we've had the same roster, same villain a few times in a row. This one, we're going to a completely different group of characters. Different group of X characters somewhere else. So heroes with no DNA sample tokens at the end of the game are removed from the following game. 3 and 4, if present. If lost, reveal event 5. And if you win, reveal as event 6. So if you lose, my priority is my mission. Proceed to Game 3. During the setup of Game 3, distribute 4 wild tokens amongst heroes. At the start of the game, after shuffling the hero deck, remove 1 card from the bottom of each hero deck from the game. If you won, an unexpected lead. During the setup of the game, distribute 2 hero tokens amongst the heroes. We have, for Game 3, we have Crescendo. We have to fight Apocalypse. Quicksilver, Storm, Archangel, Bishop, Iceman, Colossus, Boom Boom, and Cannonball. And this one's pretty simple. It's either win or lose, so 7 or 8. So if you lose, he's making it worse. During the game, set up a 4, add 1 thug each location, distribute 4 attack amongst the heroes. If you win, operation is over. Distribute 2 attack amongst the heroes. Then the final game is we have Game 4, Ghost in the Machine. We fight Strife, Beast, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Jubilee, Archangel, Cable, Polaris, and Havoc X-Factor version. And this one will be Ghost in the Machine. If you lose, reveal Event 9. If you win, you'll stop Strife and win the campaign. So Event 9 is Strife Eternal. Remove all heroes that were in the game from the game roster. If there's still 4 or more heroes, play the game, follow the same standard setup, and distribute 4 tokens among them. Otherwise, the campaign is over. So that's pretty cool, right? We get multiple tries at that one. Cool. Some of these are pretty simple. They're just your basic games. Alright, then we have War of Kings. Intergalactic Battles. This should be really fun. So for game 1, we have a team versus team. Let's stop the war before it begins. Villain is Blastar. So we have gold team is Star-Lord, Gamora, and Mantis versus blue team, which is Groot, Rocket, and Drax. Yes, you're competing against each other while fighting the villain. Like, basically, who can defeat the villain first. Which is a cool way to get all the bunch of different Guardians into the game at the same time. Gold team wins, reveal event 1. Blue team wins, reveal event 2. Villainous plot, loss, reveal event 3. Or can't play cards, reveal event 4. So there's 4 different outcomes you can get. 2 different wins or 2 different loss outcomes. So if gold team wins, we are the Guardians of the Galaxy. All heroes on the blue team roster and all heroes in the negative zone card are removed from the campaign. If the gold team wins, I would not open that portal. All heroes on the gold team and all heroes in the negative zone are removed from the campaign roster. Kind of interesting, because like you technically win, but you separate the team. If you lose to villainous, or cards in the hand, sorry, evasion unprevented. All heroes in both team roster are removed from the campaign roster. Oh boy. Or if you lose from plot, evasion delayed. Play game 1 again, each team starts with 1 extra heroic token. Alright, then we have game 2. Quite an interesting wedding. We have Gladiator, it's a villain. Campaign roster, I have Black Bolt, Crystal, Gorgon, Karnak, Lockjaw, Medusa, Triton, and Lilandra to the campaign roster. So we're adding the Shi'ar and the Inhuman stuff. Crystal is mandatory name. Take the Ronin and place him in the hero starting location. Shuffle Ronin's master plan deck and keep it face down nearby. So this is a little bit of a twist. We're playing with having extra villain character in there. When the Gladiator duel tracker advances for the first time, reveal event 5. When the hero duel tracker reaches the second space, reveal event 6. If there's a loss, reveal event 7. Heroes win. Proceed to game 3. Heroes can distribute 2 attack tokens amongst them. So when we hit level 5, Ronin the Brigaroom. The Bridge Room? No, it's extra G in there. Brigaroom. Weird. From now on, at the end of each villain turn, reveal the top card of Roland's master plan and resolve it with the following changes from a regular villain turn. Replace the word heroes with villain for Roland's special movement. His BAM effect is, if Roland is the same location as Gladiator, advance the hero dual tracker by 1. Ignore any special effects and move and hero thug or civilian placement. So basically, kind of just to be on the board and you kind of just to try and stop Ronin. If the villains or the heroes got their dual tracker up, it says Imperial Guard power. Bring back all previously occurred threats into play, then shuffle them and place them randomly in each location, with no threats, starting with Gladiator's location and proceeding clockwise. Ooh boy. So if you do well, you get extra help from Ronin. You do bad, Gladiator gets all his stuff back. And if you lose, you do event 7, which is, they were too strong. There were 2 heroes of your choice from among them in the campaign from the game roster. So if you lose 2 in a row, you could potentially keep losing all your characters. In game 3, we have Starjammers to the rescue. Like Gladiator again, but add Havok, Polaris, Chod, Corsair, Hezbollah, and Raza to the campaign roster. These heroes can't be used in this game. Black Bolt, Crystal, Gorgon, Karnak, Lockjaw, Medusa, Triton, and Lilandra. So, if you lost the original Guardians through the loss by the portal, you only basically have the Starjammers to use. And you get rid of the Inhumans for this round. Special set, place Lilandra in the hero's starting location. Langer is considered a hero, but Gladiator ignores her for the purpose of dueling. After each villain turn, move Langer clockwise one location. If Langer is dealt any damage, reveal event 8. If you lose, the campaign is over. If you win, reveal event 9. So if she takes damage, we have She Was My Magistrix. Advance the hero dual tracker by 2, remove Langer from the game. Gladiator just feels kind of bad about attacking her. And then we had If You Win, reveal event 9. I Am Magistrate. Gladiator to the campaign roster, so now he joins your team. Basically, you lose the game, though, on game 3. The game is over, and you have to start all over. So like some of the other ones, you lose, come back, try it again with this. Nope, these ones are done. Game 4, Showdown with Vulcan. Fight against Vulcan. All heroes in the campaign roster can be used. Special set, Black Bull is mandatory for this game if still in the roster. And then Black Bull is KO'd with a location without Vulcan, reveal event 10. If Black Bull is KO'd in a location with Vulcan, reveal event 11. Villainous potlatch, reveal 12. Can't play a card, campaign is over. If you have won, you won the war against Vulcan. So if Black Bull is KO'd without Vulcan, we have Will Avenge Our King. The heroes lose the game and Black Bull is removed. There are still at least 4 heroes in the campaign. Play game 4 again, distributing 1 wild and heroic token amongst the heroes, otherwise the campaign is over. If Vulcan KOs him, deal 4 damage, kaboom! To deal 4 damage to Vulcan, even if he can't currently be damaged. If the heroes would both win and lose the game simultaneously due to this effect, deal Vulcan complete his bonus pot, the hero would still win the game. And then the last one was, if you lose by villainous plot, we have the fight is not over. And while heroes are in this game for the campaign, there is still 4 in the game. Play again with 1 heroic and 1 thing. So if you lose with Black, you could potentially lose Black Bolt, and you could lose the entire game. So very interesting. Alright, we have next one coming up. We're going to look at the Dark Phoenix Saga. So, for the Dark Phoenix Saga, we have game 1 is Run for Your Life. We're going to fight Emma Frost. Campaign roster, Professor X, Storm, Wolverine, and Colossus. Special set, puts Kitty Pryde laying down in the villain's starting location. She's not considered a hero. Heroes start at the Hangar Bay. Heroes are split between both locations adjacent to the hero's starting location. Our rules are, each time a henchman is defeated, accelerate the next villain turn by 1. Heroes end their turn in Kitty Pryde's location, and there are no thugs or henchmen there. Reveal event 1. Can't play a card loss. Reveal event 2. Heroes win. Reveal event 3. So if we land with Kitty Pryde, we have Rescuing Kitty. Heroes gain 2 heroic tokens, and Kitty Pryde is stood up. From now on, heroes in Kitty Pryde's location are 1 damage each villain turn. Cool. If lose the card loss, we have event 2, captured by the White Queen. If event 1 has been revealed, add Kitty Pryde to the campaign roster, and proceed to game 2, and then keep this revealed. And then if you win the game, a Phoenix so beautiful, yet so terrible. If event 1 has been revealed, add Kitty Pryde to the campaign roster and proceed to game 2. So either way, if you don't rescue her, then you don't get her. Just kind of a neat little game thing. In game 2, Hellfire is their name. Play as Sebastian Shaw against Cyclops, Jean Grey, Dazzler, and Nightcrawler. Mandatory heroes for this game: 2-player Cyclops and Jean Grey, 3-player add Nightcrawler, 4-player add Dazzler. Villain starting location is the Hellfire Club. After Jean Grey takes her first turn, reveal event 4, player card loss event 5, heroes win event 6. So when Jean Grey plays, the Black Queen. On the next turn, Jean Grey and Cyclops don't benefit from actions in their previous hero cards in the storyline. So it shuts off their connection between each other. If the villain lose to a loss of cards, too late, add Cyclops, Jean Grey, Nightcrawler to the campaign roster. Proceed to game 3. Keep this card revealed until game 4. Okay, cool. So, like, here is our... So, we go with our base one. There's our base one. Professor X, Storm, Cyclops, Wolverine. If we lose, we get to add those 3 to the game. If we win, playing on style, we also get to add Dazzler. So, it's kind of neat. Get some extra different stuff there. We have Game 3, which is Mastermind. Now we go fight Mastermind. Game Hero. All heroes in the campaign roster can be used for this game. So if you unlock them extra characters, awesome. Building starting is a Hellfire location. Mastermind starts the game with 3 additional health. Each time a hero is KO'd, in addition to the special rules on the Mastermind dashboard, accelerate the next building turn by 1 card. A card loss, event 7. If heroes win, proceed to game 4. So if you lose, now it's my turn. Play game 3 again using Commander Solo and Wolverine is the main hero. Oh, so this is fun. This is an iconic scene where he's in a sewer looking up and he's like, now it's my turn with his claws on gun. It's kind of cool. Supporting hero deck may only have cards from the hero campaign roster. If you use from card loss, the campaign is over. Heroes win, proceed to game 4, and then keep this card revealed. So that's kind of fun. If you lose and you turn around, you have to play a solo game with just Wolverine. We have game 4, Child of Light and Darkness. Villain is the Dark Phoenix. Campaign roster, remove Jean Grey from the campaign, add Beast and Angel to the roster. Special setup, Cyclops is mandatory. For each of these cards that have been revealed, event 2, 5, and 7, the Phoenix starts the game with 1 extra health. I think are all like the lost stuff. Might be the win stuff. First time Cyclops is KO'd, reveal event 8. If you lost, reveal event 9. Heroes win, proceed to game 5. So Cyclops gets KO'd. You're not worth my time. For this KO, Dark Phoenix doesn't turn a location face down, nor discard the thug civilians there. If you lose to, what was it? Just make sure I say that right. It's, if you just lose, reveal event 9. Dark Phoenix knows nothing of love. Move all heroes defeated except Cyclops from the campaign roster. If there are still 4 heroes in the campaign, play the game again. Otherwise, the campaign is over. And then we go to game 5, which we have to fight the fate of the Phoenix with Gladiator. Add Jean Ross to the campaign. Jean Grey is mandatory. You're on the blue side, dark side, the blue spot of the moon. First time Jean Grey is KO'd, event 10. Loss, event 9. If you win, you stop the cosmic threat of the Dark Phoenix. So when Jean Grey is KO'd, the Phoenix is reborn. Remove Jean Grey from the game, then players resume their next turn, replacing her with a different character from the game campaign roster. Replace Gladiator's game piece, villain dashboard, and master plan with the Dark Phoenix game board. The villain dashboard at full health and master plan deck. Replace Gladiator's remaining threats with the same number of Dark Phoenix threats. Loss, reveal event 11. If you win, you defeated the Dark Phoenix saga. So you could have won before, but if you lost, right, so we could have stopped them. Definitely stopped them here. But if you lose, if Jean Grey gets KO'd, now you have to fight the Dark Phoenix. Now you have to try and beat that. If you just lost the campaign, a brutal clash of Mind Titans. Remove all defeated heroes except Jean Grey from the roster. There's still at least 4 played again with her. So she stays alive, but now she has to play again. But again, she could get KO'd again, and then now you have to fight the Dark Phoenix anyhow. So that's pretty cool there. Alright. Up next, we have good old World War Hulk. This is, of course, Hulk gets sent to the planet Scar, and then eventually that gets blown up by accident, and he has to come back and beat everybody. So we're going to start with, on planet Scar, the gladiatorial games, PvP Clash Mode. Red team is Gladiator, Hulk, and Korg versus blue team of Thor and Valkyrie. Special setup, take World Breaker's Hulk Rage card and place it in the reach of the players. The first time a blue hero is KO'd, reveal event 1. One of the team wins, proceed game 2. So the blue heroes being Thor or Valkyrie. Would have been Interesting. If they would have added Silver Surfer in there as well, because he was a savage Silver Surfer, but I kind of get it. So we're going to go to event 2. So we're going to skip event 1. And we're going to go, I just said this, and here's event 2. So first time a blue character is KO'd. When the blue team character recover from KO, they're instead replaced with Silver Surfer. I didn't actually know that card was coming up, so that's pretty funny. It's, why didn't they include him? That's why. Awesome. Hunt for the Illuminati, Black Bolt, Supervillain Mode, World Breaker Hulk, Game Roster, Black Bolt, Crystal, Gorgon, Karnak, Lockjaw, Medusa, Triton. So we went from Scar, now we're in the Gladiatorial games, now we're back on Earth, and World Breaker Hulk is hunting down the Illuminati. Black Bolt is mandatory. Take all health tokens from the Rage card, add them to the World Breaker starting health. Heroes may distribute among them all actions that are found on the World Pact card. Or Warbound Pact card. Did we not reveal this yet? Oh, whoops, we did miss this right off the bat. Reveal event 1 on the first card. Okay, so before I flip that over, here's event 1. Warbound Pact. Each time Gladiator Hulk is KO'd, blue team puts 1 heroic or attack token on this card. Each time a blue hero is KO'd, Team Red puts 1 health on the Rage card. So when you're playing the first game, whichever team starts to win gets a bonus. During the game, if blue team wins, they put 1 heroic or attack token on this card. If red team wins, they put an additional health token on the Rage card. Keep this card in the Rage card. Any tokens, they'll be used for game 2. Cool. Then when we jump into game 2, so make more sense now. Take all the Rage tokens that were on World Breaker Hulk, add them to his health, and heroes may distribute the Warbound Pact. So the better you did in that game, the more stuff you get to add to your team. Alright, so for the duration of gaming or World Breakers, villainous plot, if another hero in Black Bolt's location is dealt any damage, put 1 health token on the Rage card. The first time Black Bolt is KO'd, reveal event 3, heroes win, you manage to stop the World Breaker Hulk. Congratulations. So if you win on game 2, game is done. But if you didn't and Black Bolt gets KO'd, I have no quarrel with you. Move all master playing cards left in the deck from the game. World Breaker keeps playing as usual until he has no master card plans left in play. At that point, World Breaker Hulk is not defeated. He is the winner. Proceed to game 3. So if Black Bolt's destroyed, Yellowstone accelerates to the end of the turn until he has no cards left. Pretty crazy. Game 3, Hunt for the Illuminati, is Xavier. Supervillain Mode, World Breaker Hulk, Beast, Cyclops, Wolverine, Colossus, Emma Frost, Kitty Pryde, and X-23. Take all health from the Rage card, adding to the World Breaker. Starting health, place Professor X's game piece. His hero deck is not used in this game at the hero's starting location, so he's not actually a player. Interesting. Reveal event 4. You can't protect him. Put 4 crisis tokens on his card. When there are no crisis tokens on his card, move Professor X from the game. Reveal event 6. The first time the Hulk deals any damage to Professor X, remove Professor X from the game. Reveal event 7. Okay, so before we reveal event 6 and 7, let's flip this over and see what happens here. Duration of this game, ignore World Breaker's villainous plot. Professor X is affected by anything that affects heroes. Heroes can take him with them when they're moving. If another hero in Professor X's location has dealt any damage, put 1 Rage token, or 1 health token on the Rage card. Each time a hero except Professor X is KO'd, remove 1 crisis token from event 4. So event 4, so okay, so we have that. And it says when there are no more crisis cards, remove Professor X from the game. First time a hero is KO'd, reveal event 5. Heroes win, you manage to stop the Hulk. So again, you could win there. So if a hero is KO'd, we do event 5. So it's reinforcement. Each time a hero is KO'd, including the first one, don't assign them an obedience disc. Instead, remove them from the game and replace them with one of the following heroes: Juggernaut, Hezbollah, Multiple Man, Nightcrawler, Strong Guy, Warpath, Wolfsbane. This is when the backup X-Men, X-teams come and join to help fight the Hulk. If one of these heroes is KO'd, remove them from the game and proceed to choose another one from the reduced list. So yeah, interesting. So every time a hero's tail, you're gonna keep Hulk's just gonna keep tailing and running through the entire gamut of the X-Men. If Professor X, enough tokens are removed, Professor X is removed from the game. We reveal event 6. You're already living in hell. The game is over and Worldbreak Hulk is a winner. Remove all health tokens and rage from the game. Proceed to game 4. Cool. And then it says the first time Hulk deals any damage to Professor X, he says, I have no quarrel with you. Remove all master plan cards left in the deck from the game. Worldbreaker Hulk plays until usual. If there's no master plan cards left at that point, he has not been defeated. He is the winner. So same as Black Bolt. Then we go to game 4. Eye for an Eye, Supervillain Mode, Worldbreaker Hulk, Doctor Strange, Mr. Fantastic, Iron Man in the Hulkbuster armor, and Black Bolt. Special setup, take all health tokens from the Rage, add them to Worldbreaker starting health. Worldbreaker must start the location with a meek threat, place the Rick Jones token in the hero's starting location. And we have Eye for an Eye. Heroes can move Rick Jones' token to the location adjacent to it by spending a heroic. Rick Jones is the same location as Meek when a BAM is activated. Reveal event 8. All heroes except for one have been assigned a beating disc. Reveal event 9. If the heroes win, you manage to stock Worldbreaker Hulk. If Worldbreaker Hulk has achieved his revenge against the Illuminati, congratulations. So if Rick Jones is with Meek, it says his first friend. Move Rick Jones and the Meek threat from the game. Place a threat token on the card threats. From now on, Worldbreaker Hulk is vulnerable to damage. And then the other one was, all heroes have been assigned an obedience disc except one. It's time to play God. Remove one hero and replace him with Sentry. If the replaced hero has an obedience disc, discard it. Place Sentry in the hero's starting location. Cool, so that one's a little bit different. You gotta go around playing with some different teams of characters. Alright, then finally, the biggest one of all is we're going back to the Age of Apocalypse, when we kind of looked at the beginning. So we kind of looked through these already, but Surprise Attack, Nemesis, Scarlet Witch, Jean Grey, Storm, Wolverine, Rogue, Colossus, Iceman, AOA, Magneto, and more. Villain starting locations, Cape Citadel. Heroes locations, Mount Wundagore. Heroes defeated. Defeated Sabretooth, Henchman, reveal event 1. Card play losses, event 2. Villainous pot is 3. If the heroes win, if no heroes tailed, reveal event 15. Add 1 crisis token to it. So event 1 was again, I Saw the Light. The heroes won the game. Sabretooth and Wildcat are added to the roster. If we had the card loss, we get Nemesis to Mankind. We won to the defeated heroes from the campaign roster. Players choose. Supposed to signify Scarlet Witch dying. If Sabretooth Henchman is defeated and there are at least 4 heroes in the campaign roster, play game 1 again, with each hero starting with 1 hero token, otherwise the campaign is over. So yeah, you need to defeat Sabretooth and have at least 4 players and you can play it again, otherwise it's not. If you lost to the villainous plot, remove all defeated heroes. If Sabretooth Henchman was defeated and there are at least 4 heroes, play game 1 again, otherwise it's over. So you need to take out Sabretooth, otherwise you're going to lose the game regardless. And then if all that happens, right, then we just, if heroes were not KO'd during the game, reveal event 15. So what is event 15 here? So event 15 is the one. It has 5 tokens on it. So interesting. We'll put 1 crisis token on it. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to set that one off to the side here because we'll probably come back to that. For game 2 is Secret Agenda. Mr. Sinister add Blink to the campaign roster. I think she was already on the campaign roster. But yes, she gets to come back. The first time Mr. Sinister gains his first DNA sample token, reveal event 4. Card losses event 5. Villainous plot is event 6. Heroes win, reveal event 7. Then reveal event 15 if not revealed and add a crisis token to it. So you could get a little heads up by not losing anybody in the first one. So Mr. Sinister gains his fourth DNA token. only the witness. Replace the heroes with the fewest DNA sample tokens with Bishop. The start of the same location with 3 DNA sample tokens taken from Mr. Sinister's pool. If the replaced hero had no DNA tokens, remove the hero from the campaign. Add Bishop to the campaign roster. Reveal event 16 and place it in overflow and villainous plot boxes of Mr. Sinister's dashboard. Cool, so if he gets this thing, he gets to jump to a new way to win. So he says overflow. If one or more thug civilians can't be added, add 1 DNA sample token here. Take 1 DNA sample token from a hero there. Villainous plot. Heroes immediately lose if Mr. Sinister has collected 6 DNA tokens, excluding the 3 given to Bishop. Cool. So that's kind of a neat thing. Like, we actually changed the game. Would have been neat if they had more of these and throughout the entire thing. So let's go back and see what else we needed to reveal here. So we have 5 and 6 and 7. So loss. So card loss is 5. Create the perfect bloodline. We've all defeated heroes with no sample DNA tokens from the campaign. If they're still respore, play game 2 again. Fuse versus villainous plot. Not the only one with a secret agenda. Remove all defeated heroes with no DNA samples from the roster. The respore can't play game 2B, otherwise the campaign is over. Interesting. So here you have to play again. If you lose to the cards, but if you lose to plot, then you just have to play game B. If you win, you get event 7. So event 7 is Horseman Down. Bishop is now already in the campaign. Adam, players may return 1 previous removed hero from the campaign. Proceed to game 3. And then you also reveal this and place the second one. So you could potentially have 2 tokens on here already. Cool. If we have to play game 2B, the perfect mutant race, Dark Beast. Any hero on the campaign roster can be used in this game. And the loss, the campaign is over. Heroes win, reveal event 7, and then reveal event 15, which we just saw there. It's kind of neat. It's like you might have to maybe, depending on how you lose, you might refight Sinister, or you might jump over and fight Dark Beast. I'm going to drop these down because it's getting a little big. We have the Duel of Assassins. We're fighting Deadpool. Campaign roster, add Mystique and Nightcrawler to the campaign roster. Oh, this is cool. It's just going to fight Excalibur storyline when they're fighting, when they're playing up against Deadman Wade. Mystique and Nightcrawler are mandatory heroes. The villain starting location is Avalon. Starting heroes, Morlock College. Deadpool special setup rules only apply to the 4 other random locations. So then we have Nightcrawler's KO. He is not removed from the game. He simply resumes play as in regular games. The only heroes that are part of the campaign roster can be used to resume play after a hero is KO'd. If there are no other heroes in the campaign roster after other heroes other than Nightcrawler, the campaign is over. Deadpool is played as 4th Master Plan card. Reveal event 8. Event 8 is Guggenhag. Heroic Goal. If Nightcrawler deals 2 damage to Deadpool in a single turn, heroes win the game. Proceed to game 4. When the heroes win the game, they rescued 8 civilians. Heroes can distribute 2 hero tokens amongst them during game 6. If they defeated 8 plus thugs, heroes can distribute 2 attack tokens during game 6. If they cleared 2 plus threats, they distribute 2 attack or move tokens. If no heroes were removed from the game, add 1 crisis token to event 15. So cool, that could be our 3rd one on here, potentially. I like how it's not just easy to get them. And then keep that until later. Cool. Alright. Game 4, Guardians of the M-Crown Crystal with Gladiator, Gambit, Jubilee, Strong Guy, Sunspot. Sounds Gambit, the externals. I like how we're going to each different storybook. Gambit and Strong Guy are mandatory effects. Starting location is Shangalar. Take as many Allegiance cards from the Trader Challenge equal to the number of heroes in the game. One of them must be the Trader card. Shuffle them and assign them face down to each hero. Players can't look at the Allegiance card during the game. The Trader Challenge are not used. Heroes can choose together if they want to use the Plan B challenge for this game. So you can decide if you want to make this a little bit harder on yourself. We have the second mission is complete, reveal event 9, player loss, or card loss is event 10, villainous plot loss is 11, heroic goal win is 12. If you want to do Plan B, you can do event 13. Alright, so if your second mission is complete, you do 9. You don't understand, it's complicated. At the end of the game, reveal your allegiance cards. The trigger hero is removed from the campaign roster. Each player continues playing on the side of the other heroes. So this is representative in the storyline of Strong Guy kidnapping baby Magneto and Rogue's son Charles and turning against everybody because he's basically like, I want to live rather than fight the evil. So that's the idea there. Strong Guy. So card loss, we have 11 or 10. We're still alive at least. We've all defeated heroes, so there's still 4. Play it again. If you get event 11 for villainous plot, protect the Shire Empire. If there's still at least 4 heroes in the game, just play it again. So at least there you don't have to remove all your characters. Cool. So if we win the game, we do event 12, which is Noble and Worthy Cause. Add Gladiator to the campaign roster. Proceed to game 5. If you did Plan B, we won, didn't we? Add 1 Crisis token to event 15. So that should be 4 of the 5, I believe. During game 5, any hero can remove this card. During their turn to discard 1 of their Crisis tokens. Alright, for game 5, we have rescuing Ileana. So this was the Generation Next team. Fighting Shadow King. He actually fought Sugar Man, but he's not in the game. Add Kitty Pryde, Chamber, and Husk to the campaign roster. So if you wanted to complete that, you can use Colossus as well. Colossus and Jubilee. No, Jubilee wouldn't have been part of it. Just Colossus. Building starting location, the core Seattle Slave Camp. First mission, reveal event 14. Lost, remove one of the defeated heroes from play from the campaign roster. If there's still at least 4 heroes in the campaign, play game 5 again, otherwise the campaign is over. Heroes win, add magic to the campaign roster, add 1 Crisis or token to event 15, proceed to game 6. This will let you add your 5th token to that. So you have to do all these very specific things to be able to get all 5 on there. So after our first mission is complete, we have Hello Liquid Snowflake. Place magic in the same location as Shadow King. From now on, where Shadow King moves, move magic to that location where he ends his movement. Here at the same location as magic can be freed by spending 2 heroics in a single turn. When magic is free, remove her from the game. Heroes can't win the game until they free magic. Cool. And then we're going to play our last one, which we're going to fight off against the final showdown with Age of Apocalypse. Campaign roster. If there are at least 3 Crisis tokens on event 15, add X-Men to the campaign roster. So you can get up to 5 on here, but you need at least 3. But again, only one of them is actually like reveal this and add 1. So the other 4 you have to meet specific conditions. Special step: if there are 4+ Crisis tokens on event 15, distribute 1 wild token for each Crisis token amongst the above 3 heroes. 1 Crisis token above 3 among the heroes. Cool. So you add some extra tokens if you did even better. And X-Men's pretty overpowered. That's why they have them in here. If you lose, remove all defeated heroes from the campaign. If there are still 4 or more heroes in the campaign, play 6 again. An additional move, heroic, or attack token of their choice for each hero, otherwise the campaign is over. If you win, you have defeated Apocalypse and restored the timeline. Cool. Alright, so that was all 8 campaign decks. It's definitely cool. Now, one other thing to note on this is if they make a Season 4 or if they add additional packs, this is a cool little add-on they could continuously do throughout the game. They can even pick up some other ones as newer storylines are added. It might be something interesting to maybe do, like some odd, and some of them they have to stretch the ideas a little bit farther to do stuff. But again, a Spider-Verse into the spider thing with spider guys against Morlun might be kind of neat. A Spider-Man gauntlet maybe through the different Sinister Six could be kind of different. Just trying to think like what other campaigns they would have had. I would say maybe the Access storyline, but that really revolves you taking a bunch of villains and making them playable heroes. And making some of the heroes villains, and that didn't really happen that much. Or there's not enough characters to do that without really changing the gameplay too much. But you could have some other stuff, like they didn't have like something maybe like Daredevil and Fall from Grace. Using Daredevil, Kingpin, Bullseye, Venom, stuff like that. The Secret Wars would have been a neat one. We have almost every single character pretty much represented for doing the Secret Wars combination, which would have been kind of a neat thing to maybe add in there with a couple of battles. Yeah, plenty of other different things they could have done and they could add to this, which would be really interesting. So they could always do an extra campaign deck if these seem to go over really well. They can maybe, if they go Season 4, they could add more, or this could be an extra cool add-on. Also, if they ever add, much like team decks, if they add more characters in like Season 4, they can actually just maybe have to make some amendment for some of these cards. Like, hey, you can add this character that got added into the game. Yeah, I think this is a really neat way. If you really want to play the game, but you want like a little bit of challenge other than just playing your heroes against this villain, here's certain characters you have to use. Here's certain things that have to be done. If you lose different ways, it causes different effects. I wish there were a little bit more variation in each one. I thought there was some that had you play in Commander solo mode, but I guess not. That would have been kind of neat as well. Or a little bit more of a variety. There was a lot of stuff with these same basic characters, like a lot of the same X-Men, same Avengers. There's a ton of other characters. I guess you can't use everybody, but I would love to see like something maybe with like Fear itself or something letting you use some of the other characters. Like we have Alpha Flight and we gotta use like the Starjammers and Inhumans. That was fun, but we didn't get like, yeah, Alpha Flight didn't make fun. Making a lot of the other X teams didn't get in there. X-Force, X-Factor. Again, nothing really with any of the Spider-Man characters, which would have been cool. Plus, there's a lot of villains it could have been. Had some interesting different stuff in there as well. Again, I said Kingpin, Bullseye, team-ups like that. More of the Sinister Six stuff. Even nothing with like Thanos in the Black Order. No campaign with that. That would have also been neat. So definitely, I think plenty of room to add more stuff. I think people are going to create events like on Board Game Geek for this, which could be really cool. I would also love to see like when we had the one Sinister one where you did so much thing and it actually added a card that changed what his thing did. I think that would have been also a neat idea. And this might even been neat to have some like regular standard cards, which would have been like, hey, you play this, here's some new threat cards for your characters, or here's a new starting master plan card that you add, or something like that. That would have been kind of neat as well, just to add some like new mini cards, like, or standard size cards. Here's some new threats. Here's a card that covers up and changes their villainous plot, or gives them a new villainous plot, like different tracking meter or something like that. That could have been cool as well. Alright, that's what we have for this. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out the rest of the Marvel United stuff. Hit me up in the comments. See you guys later. Bye.